Going over to the Cultural Report podcast, you have DEI apparently is only wanted by white college women. Well, obviously liberal. Who would have thunk this? Which, well, I think most of us, but it's cool to see the statistics actually coming to the forefront. And this is one of the most viral things that went on social media the past couple weeks, actually. This is originally posted by Eric Daughtry on X or Twitter, in which I believe he's also quoting this reporter on MSNBC, which somehow is still in business. For the life of me, I don't know how, but they're still in business somehow. And he says, actually, he just quotes the gentleman on screen. It's about 46 seconds long. And I'm trying to see if they actually, unfortunately, I don't, it's a little blurry. I'm trying to see the source of the survey, but without too much further ado, this is goes to opinion Trump as well as DEI.
See this. White women with at least a college degree, the only group of white voters that really kind of is on the left politically, aligned with progressive causes.
By a comical margin. So white men, no degree, and this is opinion of Trump, plus 41. White men college, plus 1. White women, no degree, plus 14. White women with college, negative 38.
Democratic politics. Give you an example here. It's that DEI question, right here that we asked about in our poll. We had two big statements we read to voters. Basically, do you want to continue DEI programs or do you think they should be ended? And again, look at this divide here. White men, no degree, end it. White men with a degree, end it, they say.
So his percentages, he's not actually, I'll list them out. So the question was, should we continue DEI programs? White men with no degrees, only 25% said yes. White men with college degrees, 40% said yes. White women with no degree, 43% said yes. And white women with college degree, 68%.
Say white women, no degree, wow. End it, they say, by double digits. And then white women with a college degree, completely different by a nearly 40-point margin. They say to continue DEI. See this.
That is an insane delta, and perhaps one of the many variables in terms of why am I still single? There's definitely a lack of shared values these days. Now, this pretty valid got, what was this, 7 million views, as well as 21,000 likes, which is quite a feat to say the least. And one of the first comments comes to us thanks to Matt Von Swole, says, quote, genuine question, why do they think this? Gained 1.3 thousand likes. Now, Eric does respond saying, quote, it's hard to say exactly, but I think women are the group targeted most by higher education. May certainly become more liberal on average, but because women are already predisposed to be liberal as is, the delta there just gets amplified. You have clubs, programs, initiatives, and culture at universities that use young women's emotions to develop ideologies within them. It's part of feeling that you belong. That's certainly a huge part of it. And they are not presented with the alternative or choosing opinion or opposing opinions as young men many of the times they're pushed away and cannot engage. I got 1.7 thousand likes, and I was gonna say, I think that's a pretty good analysis of why that might be. These college campuses are mostly indoctrination campuses at this point. I mean, it's ironic that they always brag about diversity. In terms of diversity of opinion, even going to the college in the Midwest like I did, there really wasn't much. I had a couple, like one libertarian professor, maybe 2 conservative professors out of my whole tenure. And granted, it wasn't a long tenure, you just got a bachelor's degree. But yeah, in terms of the activities, the curriculum, where they're, who's instructing them, it really is mostly left. And these days, extremely radical left, I would argue. Now, Paul Zazupa also says, quote, shows us how useless college degrees are, getting 177 likes, which useless or hurtful? I almost debate hurtful with how much long-term college debt people get and how little you gain in value, especially without businesses these days saying, yeah, we do not care about degree. That's no longer a requirement. Now, I also have Cool Christian Engineer who says, quote, what we need now, and he says, quote, this is actually a quote by Bruce says, quote, DI needs to die. Diversity is weakness. Unity is strength. Equity leads to mediocrity. Equality leads to excellence. Inclusion to some means exclusion to others. Don't. Hire the best you can afford, treat them well, insist they treat each other and the consumer well, and ultimately train them and expect them to be exceptional. And that should have got more likes. I like it myself. I got 77 likes. You also have Pro-American Politics saying, quote, white liberal women. I was going to say, click that subscribe button. When I first started the show, I spoke faster than Ben Shapiro and more awkwardly than Joe Biden climbing upstairs. But I've slowly but surely got more subscribers. I've been a little bit better at speaking. Some might argue it's just a modicum improvement, but a statistical improvement nevertheless, which fuels my theory. If you click that subscribe button, I get enough subscribers, I will make it through an entire episode speaking perfectly and articulately, hopefully. That's my theory. So you click that button and tell your friends. I'd appreciate it. Heck, even tell your enemies. They might become your friends, or they might hate the content so much they become greater enemies and might lead to some entertaining results. Maybe I shouldn't recommend that. But nevertheless, pro-American politics says, quote, white liberal women are the most hate-filled and destructive force on planet Earth, getting 1.8 thousand likes. Whoa. Philip Anderson says, quote, white women with a degree have been brainwashed completely, getting 1.1 thousand likes. Booker T in the MG42 says, quote, young liberal women are statistically the unhappiest and most mentally ill demographic in America, which, yeah, it's true. They've actually done a couple studies with appropriate sample sizes. And yeah, they pulled like who's the happiest and who's most miserable. Spoiler, it's college gals with degrees. And here you have a cliche college gal who has blue hair and the cow ring, which I don't know who's telling women that's attractive, but I see it more and more every day. I don't know who's telling them this. Who's the influencer? Who's lying to women to tell them that's attractive? It's not. They need to stop. Now, that got 632 likes. Also have Uniparty Bad saying, quote, translation, white women who attend college universities are easily brainwashed, getting 680 likes. And I'm scrolling down pretty good. I haven't seen any contrarian comments thus far. Here's an exceptional quote. I mean, one of the best books, yeah, I would say of all time is 1984 by George Orwell. Can't help but think there's a reason they don't have that at public schools a lot these days on the curriculum. But nevertheless, there's a quote by George Orwell that was posted by Reality Check. And he says, quote, it's always the women and above the young ones that are the most bigoted adherents of the party, the swallowers of slogans, and amateur spies. And that's a quote from 1984 by George Orwell. If you have kids, a book by George Orwell that gets you the same themes, but more easily digestible in terms of vernacular and shorter length, it would be Animal Farm. That's another good one. Yeah, so not too many contrarian comments here, and yeah, we'll see. Again, liberal white women are a huge voting bloc, obviously. We'll see if, this has become a political issue. Will Democrats continue to invest in the idea of DEI? It's federally and it's been struck down as illegal. We also have a lot of places that are just rebranding it. So it'll be interesting to see what the future holds for those types of programs. And I mean, culturally speaking, I think the average person is kind of over it. And I mean, smart businesses are taking every single resume and not discriminating. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your co-workers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.